Meeting to order. Thank you. Could everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a traditional moment of silence in honor of the victims of 9/11. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, and to the republic and one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You can be seated. Roll call.
Councilwoman Cowan. Present. Councilman Pritchett.
Present.
Councilman Moustakis. Deputy Mayor Janjua. Present. Mayor Stegler.
Present. Public announcement.
In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting was provided on February 10th, 2023. Advance written notice of the meeting was posted on the bulletin board and sent to the Burlington County Times, the Mount Laurel Sun, and the Courier Post.
Approval of bill list.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the bill list.
I'll second.
Councilman Pritchett.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Janjua.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cohen. Aye. Councilman Moustakis.
Aye.
Mayor Stegler.
Aye. Approval of minutes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Councilman Pritchett.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Janjua.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cohen. Aye. Councilman Moustakis.
Aye.
Mayor Stegler.
Abstain. Swearing in for Captain Creason. Who dat?
Say nice things. Everyone tonight, Lieutenant Creason is being promoted to the position of captain with the Mount Laurel Police Department. Captain Creason was hired back in 2000, and at that time, he was the youngest person on the police department at the age of 21 and a half, I believe it was. And he's done a lot throughout his career. He was a field training officer. He was a member of our SWAT teams. A few years back when we had that, he got promoted to sergeant, worked in patrol administration, worked his way up, and he's done a great job. He's been consistent throughout his career. And I have to just mention in the back is retired Chief Lehman. He was one of our chiefs from, date myself, 2010. 9, I was close. And he was also around when Michael was working his way through the line. So, and Michael's wife and family are here. So go ahead, I'll stop talking.
Raise your right hand. State after me. I state name.
I, Michael Creason,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I'll bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and the governments established
and the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of a Mount Laurel Police Captain
of a Mount Laurel Police Captain
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, all of you, for coming and supporting the police department, and promotions like this don't happen without support of everybody standing behind me, so thank you all.
Thank you.
Good part. Congratulations, Michael.
Congratulations, Captain. And we genuinely appreciate the work you do for our community, and please continue the great work.
Yeah.
You always have our support. Resolutions 23-R-170.
Proclaiming Aaron Klein as the 2023 Child Cancer Ambassador for the Township of Mount Laurel.
At this time, I'm going to ask Deputy Mayor Janjua to read this proclamation into the record for Aaron.
Whereas in 2012, President Obama proclaimed the month of September be National Childhood Cancer Awareness Month to bring awareness to pediatric cancer, the leading cause of death by disease post-infancy for children in the United States. And whereas New Jersey State Resolution 49 unanimously passed on March 16, 2016, designating September as Go Gold for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas 43 children in the United States are diagnosed with childhood cancer every day, and 1 in 285 children in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer before their 20th birthday. Worldwide, approximately 400,000 children and adolescents are diagnosed with cancer each year. 20% of children with cancer in the United States will not survive it. And whereas about 438,000 childhood cancer survivors live in the United States, and more than 95% of childhood cancer survivors have significant treatment-related health issues. And whereas Aaron Klein lives with his family in Mount Laurel Township. He loves spending time with his siblings, Mary, Caleb, and Joshua, and his dog, Luna. Aaron's journey with cancer started shortly after he turned 4. Since then, he has undergone intensive chemotherapies and 3 stem cell transplants. Aaron is very excited to be returning to his elementary school this fall. Therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor, township council, and the township manager of the township of Mount Laurel, county of Burlington, state of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2023 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in support of our childhood cancer little warriors, and further proclaim Aaron Klein as the 2023 Childhood Cancer Ambassador for the township of Mount Laurel. This
All right, let's, want to vote on it first? Okay. I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Cowan,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Janjua.
Aye.
Councilman Pritchett.
Aye.
Councilman Mustakis.
Aye.
Mayor Stegler.
Aye. At this time, I'm going to ask Assemblywoman Carol Murphy to come join us because she has a proclamation as well.
Oh, I'm first?
Yeah, please.
You guys like join me. So where is Aaron? Aaron, would you like to come up with me? No? For one moment, I saw you on a fire truck. I did, I'm gonna come to you then. Okay, oh, I love the boots, look at this.
You know,
How can you not like these boots? So, you know what, Aaron, that's okay. I'm gonna address this to you, but through your mom, okay? So, you know, as an assemblywoman, in the state of New Jersey, it is my honor and privilege to be able to recognize Aaron. His bravery, his courage is such a, I don't even have the words for it because there's no words that can even measure up to the amount of pride that I feel as an assemblywoman for Aaron. And I'm sure you as his mom and your family, it's just overwhelming. So with that, I do want to present to you something on behalf of the state of New Jersey, acknowledging Aaron as the ambassador in Mount Laurel, and let you know as well that we are all here to support you and be here to guide whatever else you need.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Is Rich Nardello with us? Yeah, Rich, would you like to come up and say a few words?
Get over there, buddy. Come on. And a surprise for you.
Okay, and very quickly, I'm Rich Nardiello. I'm a childhood cancer advocate, and thank you very much, Mayor and Town Council, Assemblywoman. New Jersey Assembly HR 49 was passed in 2016, which allows people like me to do things like this for children. Aaron's a special boy, there's no question. We had a lovely parade for him. And somehow right now there is a character, but his name is Spider-Man, and he's actually lost. He's lost on the road to Mount Laurel. So obviously messed up somewhere with it. I don't know. But when he comes in, we'll make sure he has a couple of photos with you and says hello to you. Okay, is that a good deal? So thank you very much, folks, and I appreciate it. And Special Boy gets a special night. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We do have a special surprise for you as well, Aaron. Mayor, can the council come join us as well? Assemblywoman, come join us. For you, pal.
Go get it. For you. Let's say thank you. Bunch of little teams to play. I'll say thank you strongly. This is pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I guess in front, yes. Spider-Man.
Rich, right here. Oh, Rich, this is for you, my friend.
Thank you so much, sir.
Absolutely. This is for you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for everything you do. Aaron, do you want to do one more picture? All right, you're the bottom. Give it up for Aaron one more time. You know, as mayor, I've always dreamed to say, no, I don't want another picture. Thank you.
And can I just say too, we moved here 15 years ago before we had kids and we had just gotten married. And I mean, obviously we had no idea what our life was gonna hold with 4 kids and Aaron's situation, but we couldn't have picked a better town to live in. The support that we've received from last August to now has been nothing but like amazing, from the school district to our friends, family, the police department, the Big Phillies parade, the other parades that they've done for him. Like, it's just been like more than we ever could imagine. And so a lot of the time we said, 15 years ago when we moved here, like we had no idea.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of picked a better town to live in too. So thank you for everything you've done for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll let Aaron go home.
Yeah, Aaron, you're free to go now, pal. Pleasure meeting Aaron. I'll see you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Anytime you need to get out of school, you and your brothers, sisters, take care of it, all right? Okay. We also have another great proclamation, 2023-R-171.
Proclamation honoring Kate and Charles Tweedy for their lifetime dedication to Paul's Farm Nature Center.
I'm going to read this into the record. Whereas Kate Hutton Tweedy and Charles Tweedy were instrumental in the formation of Paul's Farm in 1979 and oversaw its operational success for more than 25 years. And whereas Paul's became a not so hidden treasure in Mount Laurel, attracting families and school age children to the Darnell farm to learn about animals, nature, and farm life. And whereas under Kate and Charles Tweedy's supervision and guidance, they were also able to restore the farmhouse, blacksmith's work area, the smokehouse, and the ice house of the historical Darnell homestead. And whereas during the course of their tenure as chairs of the board, Paul's became mobile, bringing animals to groups throughout South Jersey, expanding nature and animal education. And whereas once believed to be left in good hands, Charles and Kate asked that others take over operation of the facility and carrying its mission forward. And whereas after a failed management by a third-party contractor, Paul's was forced to close its doors in January 2020, and the onset of COVID-19 in America in March 2020 placed Paul's in permanent closure until the township could find a willing and able partner. Whereas once again, Kate and Charles Tweedy would not let the mission of Paul's fail and organized a new nonprofit to help prepare Paul's for a reopening. And whereas Kate and Charles Tweedy invested additional significant funds and worked countless hours with many volunteers to refurbish and clean the property and provide opportunities for the public to enjoy it all the while. And whereas Kate and Charles were excited that Rowan University became interested in the property and continuing a mission of animal welfare and education through its Schreiber School of Veterinary Medicine. And whereas, when some thought it could not be accomplished, Kate and Charles Tweedy successfully led the fight to, quote, save Paul's Farm. And the township, its employees, and the public are forever grateful for them, the massive time, talent, and treasure that they put forth to organize and effectively implement a game plan to ensure the future of Paul's Farm. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Township Council of the Township of Mount Laurel that Kate and Charles Tweedy are to be recognized, honored, and sincerely thanked for their amazing efforts to establish and operate Paul's Farm, and then to again step in and return to save the farm from closure, bringing nature and animal education to generations of Mount Laurel residents and visitors. I have a motion to approve resolution 23-R-171.
I'll make the motion.
Make the motion. Everybody makes the.
Nick, you want a second? Councilman?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Deputy Mayor Janjua.
Aye.
Councilman Mustakis.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Aye.
Councilman Pritchett.
Aye.
Mayor Stegler.
Aye. We're going to present this proclamation to you right now. You have a proclamation as well?
I do.
Here you go. We'll come on up and grab a quick picture. We don't have a basket of toys. I apologize.
Now, these are all of these paper. But this
Come on, join us.
this is for you guys as well, on behalf of the state of New Jersey, which says everything they said. But we want to recognize you as an advocate. And we've done a lot of legislation to protect our animals, whether they are a Pets Farm, Paul's Farm, or there are domesticated animals, or whomever it might be, even animals on the road. I am always in debt of you to make sure that Paul stays alive. So this is for you. So
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for everything you do.
We just get to say thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you, and thank all our board members and volunteers and our two teachers, Judy and Lynn, who work for us every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from May until it's closed down. And we're so grateful and thankful to all of you, but also Charles. You did a lot of mowing.
Let's get tough with this picture.
Fine, okay. Yeah, let's get it, you wanna get rid of that?
There you go. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do the next resolutions as a consent agenda, 23-R-172 through 23-R-180.
I'll make the motion.
Oh,
you're gonna read first. Sorry, I'm just jumping the gun here. I don't mind. 172 is the vet deduction. 173 is holding catalyst in default. 174 is our max contract. 175 and 176 are licensing agreements recommended by the township engineer. 177 is the accepting the annual audit for 2022, which has no audit findings in it. 178 is our purchasing required co-op resolution for security cameras and wiring. 179 is bond release for Jose Tejas, recommended by the township engineer. And 180 is the award of the back 40 property clearing recommendation by our open space engineer.
Wonderful. Okay, do I have a motion?
I will make that motion now.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Cohen,
Aye.
Councilman Pritchett.
Aye.
Councilman Mustakis,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Janjua.
Aye.
And Mayor Stegler.
Aye. Ordinances for second reading and public hearing. Ordinance 2023-12.
Repealing chapter 4-87-6 of the township code as inconsistent with state law.
Would anybody like to come up and speak about this? You're more than welcome to. Seeing nobody, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve ordinance 2023-12.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Pritchett.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Janjua.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Aye.
Councilman Mustakis.
Aye.
Mayor Stegler.
Aye. Ordinance 2023-13.
Ordinance of the Township of Mount Laurel to enter into a recreation and conservation lease agreement with Rowan University for the use of the property formerly known as Paul's Farm.
Would anybody like to come up and speak about Paul's Farm, this ordinance and this ordinance alone? You're more than welcome to. Seeing nobody, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Councilman Pritchett.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Janjua.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Aye.
Councilman Mustakis. Mayor Stegler.
Yes. Okay, public participation. Anybody from the public like to come up? You can speak at the microphone. Thank you very much. So state your name, your address, and you can come speak to council. Luke.
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is Wayne Schneider.
Schneider. That's the short version. Used to be Von Schneider. Frederick William Wolfgang. I'm Irish. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and distinguished council members, my fellow citizens of Mount Laurel. Before I get started, I'm sorry that these other distinguished members of our community had to leave. I'm doing the bring our fine police officers, first responders. We all very much are grateful for our first responders. But in these troubled times with headlines that are so horrifying, I just wanted to take this moment to reach out and say, God bless you, God bless your families, and thank you so very much. Hardly enough thanks, but it's from my heart. I've had the distinct pleasure of living in Mount Laurel since August of 1986. My wife and I moved down here from crazy North Jersey. Any of you have had the fun of being up there?
Absolutely.
You think traffic is fun around here? Go north.
Another native New Jersey person.
My wife and family, our fine school system. Kids grew up, went to college, and are now professionals. What I'd like to start off with, I only have a few items and I'll try to be brief.
That's good, sir, because we do have a 3-minute time.
Oh, Laurel Acres. I just want to extend my thanks, my family's thanks to all of you and the Parks and Recreation supervisors and people. I thank them in person when I see them in the trucks and so forth. What a treasure Laurel Acres is. All the new things that are going on there. The addition, I've seen it from the whole backfield and all the ball parks there and so forth. It's fantastic and it's a real great asset. Mount Laurel could use a town center like Collingswood or Morristown. And I'm not saying the 4-letter word MALL. We don't need that. But walk through Collingswood, walk through Haddonfield, walk through Morristown. What a charming, wonderful place to be with your family, having an ice cream cone, shopping at a local store. You know, Mount Laurel's got plenty of acreage. It's not like we don't have the room. So just an idea. Thank you very much. Now, I do have a question, and if I may approach or hand this to.
Sure, just bring it to Mayor.
If you would pass these to the distinguished members.
Okay. Yeah.
My question is, we have under construction for quite some time, the emergency medical resource building on Route 73 and across the Wawa. It's now an eyesore.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
And what is going on?
Well, if you saw on the agenda tonight, they were declared in default. There is a fight between the developer and his finance company. And now their construction contractors are joined that. So there's litigation ongoing between those parties. And we've declared them in default. Hopefully that will get them to spur. Basically, the finance company is not releasing any additional funds to them. So we need to jump into the fray and see if we can shake the money out of the tree to get that project finished.
Is it a third party funding that project, or are our tax dollars tied up?
No tax dollars are being used in that.
It's not our project.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see it finished for all the good reasons that it would have.
Absolutely.
The design of it, that front, I'm a 50-year veteran in the construction industry. That was an expensive building.
Yeah.
That's not an ordinary building. The front of that is quite a bit more expensive to build than a square building with some nice architectural features. So it's really been, I've been aghast about it, thinking that all of us taxpayers got our money tied up there and like to progress.
No, it's not ours, but it's still just as frustrating. I don't.
Okay, good. So the last thing is down the street from it, all through the
COVID period, the pandemic, the Sage Diner was trying to modernize and get back on its feet. Now all of a sudden it had some kind of a garage sale going on and it's dormant. And I'm hearing anecdotally that it's gonna be torn down for a highway improvement project.
It's not going, it's going to be a marijuana facility, a distribution center.
The diner, Sage Diner, next to the marijuana place.
Yeah.
Okay, what's happening to it?
Sage Diner's going to be a marijuana distribution center. A developer bought it and is making it a distribution center. I know, there is one right down the street from it.
Yeah, we had, two different boards approved it.
Wow, I didn't come here ready for that one.
Yeah. And you're North Jersey guy.
Lounge across the street.
Yeah.
And a marijuana dispensary and another marijuana okay.
We will get revenue from the marijuana.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, at this point, when the referendum passed in 2020, overwhelmingly, where residents said that, you know, nearly 70%, they're in favor of this referendum. We took it, made our ordinance restricted to different areas where you can and can't do, so where it's actually zoned for. And businesses are coming to try to take advantage of that. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've said this before on the dais, the likelihood of all of these businesses being successful is slim to none. I think the free market itself is just gonna correct itself. And different boards approve different things, so they can come in from the zoning if they need a variance, or they come in from the planning, which I serve on, and so does Councilman Mustakis or other council members, depending on the year. But we will get revenue. What's the percentage?
2%, and they anticipate that the township will get over $1 million.
So while they duke it out, while the free market corrects itself, we're gonna still get that money and we're still gonna collect that revenue. I didn't want Mount Laurel to be without that revenue, but we did put a cap on how many businesses we can have to match our liquor licenses. We actually took action. It's still kind of brand new. I'd be the first to tell you that maybe we should have done that earlier. I will be the first to tell you that, but I can tell you that we did take action to do that. And listening to residents, listening to their concerns, it's a brand new frontier. And we want to make sure that we're listening to the vote, the overwhelming support of the vote, but also make sure that residents know that we're doing this intelligent way.
And I can say too that the owners of the Sage Diner facility, they're not brand new to the industry. They own a marijuana facility out in California. They're familiar with the operations, and they have complied with the extra layer of security that Mount Laurel Township has put in. Than other towns, we require armed security in the facility while it's open.
It's kind of a high profile location where the school bus has gone by. Not that the kids are having their head up in the sky somewhere. They pretty well are aware of life today, but it's kind of high profile for that kind of establishment. I'm disappointed in that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Anybody else from the public? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public participation. And comments by council. First, we'll start with Meredith.
I just want to say thank you to the fire chief. I reached out to him and told him how much Aaron loved the fire department, and he graciously hosted him for dinner tonight with the firemen, and also brought him on a fire truck, and I can't thank you enough, chief, for making that happen. That's all.
Okay, sure.
And
Good.
just food truck festival, October 1st, and hope to see everybody there 12 to 5.
Okay. George?
I got a room full of people, so I'll take the moment. A couple things. One, we're in a desperate blood shortage, so please, if you can, please go get blood. That's my Red Cross hat. My Mount Laurel hat back on. Kate and Charles, thank you for so much for everything you've done over the years to make Paws Farm what it was, and to build it up, and then to rebuild it when it fell into the wrong hands. And the transition to Rowan is probably only possible because of all the efforts that you put forward. And I don't think the town can thank you enough for everything you did over the years.
Thank you, George. We have it closed.
We do.
Okay.
It won't be long, 10 minutes.
Councilwoman Cohen?
Okay. Now I have a list.
Break out that list.
Well, congratulations to Captain Cresong, and to our young childhood cancer ambassador, Aaron Klein. I know that he's, I'm sure it's probably, for my kids, it was bedtime right now, when it was still daylight. And my one more congratulations to our new Lieutenant Governor, Tahesha Way. I had the pleasure of meeting her at the League of Municipalities Conference a couple of years ago. My thanks also to Kate and Charles Tweedy for your tireless, and I know it's tireless work on behalf of Paws Farm. It is a completely different facility from when we saw it back in 2020, early 2021. So I thank you, and all the volunteers and all the people who work there. I thank you so much for that. My kids spent their childhood going, Ms. Barbara reading to them. So we remember it well. To those who celebrate, I wish a joyous new year as we mark Rosh Hashanah and an easy fast for Yom Kippur. And yesterday was a day of somber reflection for a lot of us for 9/11 and remembering our own Mount Laurel responders who raced up there when that happened. I remember it well, and the people that we have lost, quite a few of them. So. But on that note, also September is Suicide Awareness Month. I used to volunteer at Contact Burlington County, which is the suicide hotline for Burlington County, and taking those calls from people who were desperate and trying to find help for them. So we will be having a walk in October 21st at Laurel Acres for the Out of Darkness Walk. It's the 8th annual one that Mount Laurel is hosting. And as we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, on September 22nd, Friday, we're going to be doing the movie Ferdinand the Bull, and Maz and Paz Tex-Mex will be providing empanadas and churros, and I highly recommend, one of my favorite places to eat in Mount Laurel. And we just talked about the food truck festival, and then finally, last week I had the pleasure of being present when two young men, 14-year-olds, who saw that there's a man named Harold who likes to ride his bike around Laurel Acres. He's very familiar to a lot of people at Laurel Acres. Our Public Works Department knows Harold well from all the time he spends, and his bicycle apparently was broken. So they did a GoFundMe and raised money and bought him a brand new bike. That kind of news is, you don't hear it enough. And we have so much negative news, but those are the kinds of examples that I like to highlight in our community. As they say, so shines a good deed in a weary world. So I thank you everyone for coming and for having, I hope you have a great rest of your night. Stay safe.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Stakas, you there?
No comments this evening. Thank you.
No problem. Councilman Pritchett?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, I want to thank Katie and Charles for everything you've done for this township with Paws Farm. My son had his birthdays there, so we definitely know the place very well, and thank you for that. Again, Wayne, I just want to thank you for recognizing our police department and our first responders. We don't hear a lot of residents, coming to the meetings and thanking the police department, so it's good that you actually recognized them, and we appreciate you for that. Again, also, just like the township manager said, on October 1st is our food truck festival. Please come out. Hopefully the weather pans out. It's going to be a great event, again, from 12 to 5, and hope to see you all there. That's all I got for tonight.
Thanks, Councilman. Deputy Mayor?
So I'm going to echo what everybody said. I want to thank Charles and Kate for all your hard work and all the volunteers for keeping the Paws legacy alive. I have 4 kids, and all 4 of my kids had their 5th birthday at Paws. So it's a special place for us and our family. And to know that it's going to live on for future generations to benefit from is very comforting. I also want to congratulate Aaron Klein and wish all the kids who are suffering from childhood cancer a healthy journey ahead, and make sure that we all keep them in the light. Enjoy the rest of the nice warm days of summer that's left, and thank you all for coming out, and please do come to our food truck festival on October 1st.
Thank you. Ditto to everything. I mean, everybody really covered a lot. I do want to say on a personal note, a couple things. To Kate and Charles, Paws Farm closing I had a pretty challenging time being on council my first 4 years. Anything that could be thrown at us was definitely thrown at us. Paul's closes down, then a pandemic hits, then I become mayor, and then suddenly everything's reopening at Steve, we got to figure the solution out. And we couldn't have had a solution that we had with Rowan University without you, without the volunteers. And there was a lot of people, and I don't blame them. There's a lot of cynicism and a lot of idea that maybe government can't work and government is to this or to that. But we were able to work together. When we sat down and we found a common solution, we were able to work together. And when we're able to do that, we don't have that many wins in local government. It's really tough. We have limited resources or hands are tied for a lot of things. So when we have a win and a win like this, it really shows everybody that their government is working for them, their council is listening to them, and that people every single day in Mount Laurel are being heard and vice versa. And I cannot thank you enough for reinstilling that, even if it's a bit of faith, but faith nonetheless in our township and our government and in the people of Mount Laurel. And I cannot thank you enough for that. So I'm looking forward to this new endeavor and thank you again for everything you do and the volunteers of Paul's Farm, Save Paul's Farm. I appreciate you. I appreciate the calls I've received and I appreciate the hard work from George standing over here. He knew this was priority. I don't know how many times I called him. I said, we got to figure this out. We got to figure this out. Somebody's got to take care of this. And George never stopped working on it. He might have some free time on his hands. So if there's anything else, take care of it.
Got an EMS building to worry about.
Yeah, now he's an EMS building. So yeah. Wayne, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I appreciate your kind words. I also appreciate the questions and being able to answer any questions you may have. And everybody else that joined us, Aaron, you're an inspiration. Way past his bedtime. But it's the little things we can do. Chief, thank you again for making that voice night. And we're going to be keeping Aaron in our thoughts, but he's a tough guy. And we appreciate everybody being here. So with that, we're going to go into closed session. Can I have a vote to go into closed session?
Resolution 23R-181, resolution authorizing a closed session in Township of Mount Laurel to discuss pending or anticipated litigation, contract negotiation, and or personnel matters.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Councilman Pritchett.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Janjuba.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Aye.
Councilman Mustakis.
Aye.
Mayor Stegler.
Aye. You can all wait if you'd like. We're going to be
I'm hoping
15 minutes or so. And
won't be taking action.
yeah, we don't take action. We just come right out afterwards and say, okay, everybody can leave. So you're more than welcome to sneak out of here if you'd like. Okay. Hey, Wayne, can I see you real quick?